Good morning to all. Welcome to Laurel Park. Naomi Tucker with Tim Tulloch right beside me. Happy last day of the new year.
Last day of
Final year.
the last day of the 2021. I'm not going to put any stock in 2022 yet. I did that for 2021, and we kind of took it a little bad. In 2021, maybe a little worse. So we'll see how 2022 plays out. But look, we've had some good racing this year. We've had some really good racing locally, so we still had a lot of fun. But we had to power through some of these days.
Well, it's been quite the year in terms of racing action, like you mentioned, but of course not without challenges throughout the year related to, of course, the pandemic as well as some of the track. But, I know that everyone behind the scenes here at the Maryland Jockey Club, the horsemen and women, everyone's really, really put in their best effort to make sure that we can continue as we are. So, of course, we're so grateful that, and we're hopeful and looking ahead to 2022. I certainly am.
No, knock yourself out. I am hopeful. Trust me. But I'm going to, be a little tepid about it. See how it plays out. Racing is still be great.
Absolutely. I mean, we got plenty of stakes action coming your way for the new year. So my hopes are high that we're going to see a couple more thrilling battles down to the wire. But let's talk about what's going on today. Like I said, final day of 2021. Mandatory payout of all pools here. December the 31st, we have a rainbow pick 6, a super high 5, and a late pick 5, all mandatory payout. Now, know that we're starting without the carryover because there's been quite a couple of lucky people that have been very astute handicappers that have been able to secure these pools, but do know that everything that get wagered into these pools today will be pushed out as well. And of course, as it is Friday, one of the better opportunities in terms of your wagering plays returns, the Stronach 5. We kick things off. We tend to kick things off.
Yep.
Love that. Race number 8. Then we go to our friends at Gulfstream Park and then back to us again for our final race of the year. And then we go back to Santa Anita Park, which, has reopened again on the day after Christmas. So glad to have them back into play as well. And then we're finishing things off strongly with Golden Gate Field. So, look, Tim, I know that you've created a ticket again, and we'll talk about it throughout the show. I think this is quite a chance on this last day, right?
Absolutely. It's always a chance. It always pays out well. I've got a $108 ticket, and it's about what I typically spend on it. I do have a single at our home track, which is important to me. I tend to know the horses a little bit better. I tend to single at our home track, but a couple other challenging races. I had to go pretty deep at the Gulfstream Park race and Santa Anita Park race. So we'll see how that plays out, but do get involved in it. It's a lot of fun, and if you hit it, you'll hit it well.
Yeah, you will indeed. Always big payouts for the Stronach 5. Of course, let's have a look at our New Year's racing schedule coming your way. Of course, we already said a Happy New Year from all of us here. Live racing will resume tomorrow, Saturday, January 1st, and Sunday, January the 2nd. No time for a New Year's Eve, New Year's Day hangover now, have we?
Oh, no, there's always time for that.
Okay.
We can rally. I mean, we can rally. We don't have to be to work till 12:25
there you go.
New Year's Day. I mean, come on.
I'm doing the morning show.
I can bounce back. I can bounce back. But yeah, looking forward to racing over Saturday and Sunday, the 1st and 2nd of January, and kicking off the new year with some good racing.
Yeah, absolutely. We're kicking off the new year in style here with 9 races coming your way tomorrow. So if you want to start your year well, come and join us here at beautiful Laurel Park. So look at the track condition. You can tell it is currently muddy, 52 Fahrenheit, but I dare say we might see the track slowly getting upgraded throughout the day, right?
Yeah, I think you will. As you see, they're working on the track right now, squeezing out some of that water. Unfortunately, the temperatures were warm, but we got no sunshine and very, very little wind, a lot of moisture in the air, a lot of humidity in the air, to be honest with you. So everything sort of stayed a little wet, never really dried out, even though we didn't get any substantial rain during the evening or morning. But that's where we're going to start, muddy. Of course, we have no turf, but it is December, almost January. But look, we'll be back soon enough with turf racing. But yeah, good card today and tricky in spots.
Well, let's dive into it. You can highlight which races you think is one that you might have to go deep on your exotic wagers. Let's start with the first race on the card, claiming $10,000. Nominees of a race at a mile or over. A conditioned claimer here, mile one turn. And look, Tim, you and I both landed on the number 5, so we'll start with Prince of Portland, who returns to a Mao after tiring belatedly against the claiming 20 level. I think that's a good step here, and relatively speaking, like I said, takes the drop, takes the cutback. All in all, think that it could work out.
I think it works for Prince of Portland, for Brittany Russell, turning back to the one-turn mile, coming out of that mile in 8th race, where he tried to hang up there early, just got late in the race, but taking the big class drop here to the 10,000, basically a 2 lifetime for 10,000, even though it's 2-year-olds. We don't have those condition races yet, but that's what it turns out to be. Coming off a good turf race, that was a nice race. Well, and he broke his maiden for maiden 25 over the turf at Delaware Park and work since. I think this will be just fine for Prince of Portland. Carol Cedeno rides for Brittany Russell.
Yeah, that's actually interesting to see. Retains the ride here. She's been on board for the last 2 outings. Let's talk about the number 7, Gunhand, because we do have a video spotlight for this runner. Anthony Ferrier trains. I did think he had a perfect setup there behind an honest pace, but he was really digging in down the lane, and it's the same distance he's going today. Now, we know that certain horses relish this second wire, and Gunhand breaking his maiden over course and distance, that certainly plays into his hand.
Certainly. If he can repeat this race, it should be good enough. He made a big move from the 3/8 pole to get here, but look, he tries to get beat here. I mean, he tries to get beat by Krug. Now, Krug would come back and win pretty nicely, so he's ahead of a next out winner in that race. I don't know that once he got to the lead there, he had blinkers on. I think he lost sight of Krug. Krug could see him, kept on coming. So he was trying to hang. He was trying to get beat, but with the experience, and we often know that horses, once they win, they get the feel of it. They start to figure it out. He's still a young horse who's only going to be making his 3rd start today. Anthony Ferrier wins 2 in a row about 33% of the time.
And
so,
we did just also see in the video that he had that late lead change.
Yep.
You know, still learning, still trying to find himself, but a good effort, one that I was quite taken with. But you landed on the number 1, Citizens Fire, who I didn't even get to as your exacta play here. Of course, did win over that 2-turn mile in 16 here last time out. Look, the number is perhaps a touch on the soft side in comparison to some of the others in here, but improvement to be found.
I think there's improvement to be found. Dropped to the maiden 10 for the first time in his career, got the job done. Did it the way you'd like him to do it. Laid close without going to lead, came with some finish, and drew off in the end. 4 work since that last race, sets it up for Citizen Fire. We're always concerned about the break going a mile, the 1-turn mile here, but even if he doesn't get away the best, he's got the tactical speed, or appears to have the tactical speed, to just lay there in a good spot and come with a little bit of finish. And if the racetrack happens to keep the moisture in it, and I think it will, by curling out of Malibu Moon Mare, will not bother him whatsoever.
I think that helps him as well. Second race on the card is claiming 10,000 to 8,000. Anonymous at 2 a lifetime, 5.5 furlongs, the sprinting distance here. Look, I nearly wanted to make Pepe and Haywood my best bet of the day. We do have a video of him. I do believe that was on the not too long ago, last race here, the 19th. Yeah, I was trying to look at the date there. Look, he had an inside draw. He worked hard for it. Shot forward like a rocket, really kind of took it to the field, pulled kind of just off the rail. I thought that was clever. Johan Rosado, make sure he's on the right part of the racetrack. Really, really digs in, just loses out there to Pets Knight, who comes and rallies with a beautiful setup. But that was an honest race.
He was dead game there. He was really, really dead game there. He had done all the work all the way around there, had taken a little bit of a challenge early, held on late. The race before, really, really pretty nice race. Out of that race comes Big Tall Dog, who would win. Stay In, who would win. He runs behind them. He runs a big race in his last start. He's right there every time going 5.5 furlongs. He's always in the mix going 5.5 furlongs. That's what he gets here this afternoon, and he's coming out of a big effort in that last start.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, he's put in 2 very decent performances. Just can't get the win on board. So I think today is going to be his day.
Yeah, well, he's stepping up. I mean, that was a 2 lifetime for a nickel, but the race before was a 2 lifetime for the 10,000, where he did run behind. I don't think there's a Big Tall Dog or Stay In this group, so I think it's going to set up well for him.
And how about the number 8, Crying for More? He drops down to the 5.5 furlong after 2 solid performances over 7. I think he's going to end up sitting sort of mid-pack and making
Yeah,
that kind of top of the lane move and then try and roll past them.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Second off the claim this afternoon for Dale Capuano, turning back to the 5.5 furlongs. He will bring some finish and will get a setup to bring that finish. So Crying for More, most definitely in the hunt this afternoon.
Yeah, I feel like he is. I have a bit of a price bet on one more factor because I thought they went very, very fast last time over 7 furlongs. Sharp cutback, but because he was part of that prolonged sort of pace duel before tiring in the final 8th, I think it could kind of work for him at a price.
It could work for him. I mean, basically, he's going to have to run a little bit faster. He's a little number shy in this spot, but he certainly could make things interesting for Pepe and Haywood early. So and you know, in turn, set it up for a horse like Crying for More.
That is true. That is true. You're exactly play right there. Let's move on to race number 3, claiming 8,000 to 6,000, 6 furlongs the distance here. Look, Tim, you and I, we're agreeing here. Aside from the fact that we do have different exacta play, so perhaps that's the key here. Look, Federale seems the horse to beat in here. 6 furlongs is his distance, 5 out of 9. He won 5 times out of 9 starts over the distance. I think he's going to try and get the jump on them and fire.
Yeah, look, that was a good race in his last start. Now he gets a little class relief to the 8,000 off that good effort where he only got beat 3 lengths to get off my back. Hard fought here in this race also. He's in pretty good form. But when you look back, you're absolutely right. This horse is capable of running some really big races, going 6.5 furlongs as he did in his last start and as he did earlier this summer. So a work since then up there at Pimlico. I think it works for Federale, who's pretty honest at the end of the day.
He is. He's not the kind of, cheap speed that would back up. He tries and tries and tries. So I really, really like him in this spot. But hard fought. I wasn't sure what happened in that last race over 7. Was it the distance that not suited? But he's won over a mile before, so I'm not sure. Maybe just a clunker, maybe an off day. Are we just putting a line through it?
I'm going to put a line through it. It just might have been too tough. It was that starter optional 16, 25,000. He was 3-1 in the race, so he took a little action. It just might have been too tough of a race going 7/8 of a mile for him. But here's another one who gets back to this level where he's had success. You go back to October, a couple of races at that $12,000 to $10,000 level. Good fourth place finish, beating 2, and then you see a win and a second. So he's just back where he belongs. He'll be showing some speed from the inside, I'm sure, under Carlos Lopez and Kieran McGee and Carlos Lopez, about 26%. So hard fought is going to be very tough this afternoon, no doubt about that.
Yeah, I think he will be as well. And perhaps a quick question about Baptized. You both put him in underneath. He puts in an effort every single time, but he hasn't really been the same since that allowance winning form at Pimlico over the summer.
He didn't quite fire in his last race, but he gets back going to 3/4 of a mile. 5.5, I think, is just a touch too short for him because he does come with a little bit of a run. Last 2 times he's been able to run 5.5. The A out of the at Pimlico in June. Then he came back here in this, actually in the 7th of August at Pimlico. Nice races going 3/4 of a mile against much tougher A out of the 2 out of the Now he's getting class relief to a distance that I think he prefers 3/4 of a mile. So I'm going to give him a shot.
Yeah, I do as well. I don't want to miss out when he kind of fires back again against a little bit less tougher foes like you highlighted. Race number 4 is the start of that Rainbow Pick 6. Don't forget, we have a mandatory payout today. So everything wagered into that pool will be returned to all the bettors. And Callie has a ticket for us. She'll talk us through this later on today when she's on as well. And let's talk about this race. Optional claimer, starter allowance, 7 furlongs the distance. We do have a video spotlight on both of our top selections in here. That is WW Springtime, I thought this was interesting. We don't see the start here. I had a look. He was a little bit keen after the jump, even going that 7 furlongs. Kind of had to settle for Jorge Ruiz, and he did. Tried his best until the very end after really being part of the pace from the get-go.
Well, there's a big scratch in this race. Let's not forget, take out the 1 El Sober Vivente. I think I've got that right. I sounded it out. Who was my top pick? That one comes out for Jamie Ness. So it falls on WW Springtime. No doubt about that. That's a big race that you just watched. Lifetime best 84 Beyer speed figure. Hung in there tough, getting beat by Good Luck Chuck. That was a very, very game race. Jorge Ruiz returns today. He gets back to this 3/4 of a mile, or 7/8 of a mile, where he did run his lifetime best race in his last start. So He gets to the front, and maybe he has a little company down from the inside from Jovis, who might give a little pressure on him. But I think he probably gets the jump on that one and gets right out there.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like you said, El Sober Vivente, if I say that correctly, as well, won't be in here. So the 1A is now an uncoupled entry. We'll talk about the wrapper in just a second. Let's mention the number 8, who we both have, rookie Salsa of trainer Claudio Gonzalez. He did not close at all last time at Penn National when he was kind of sort of further back than we like to see him, or he likes to sort of be, amongst friends there. But he returns to Laurel, where he's 4 from 8. So half of the time that he's run here at Laurel, Buck, he's won.
Yeah, this could be the danger horse in this race. 9-2 on the line. Draw a line through that race at Penn. Anything can go wrong up there. They might not like the lights. I mean, there's just a lot of things that can happen. But the race before was a 2-other-than level going 7/8 of a mile. He ran his lifetime best. He gets beat neck but behind a nice horse you might have heard of. Kenny Had a Notion of Dale Capuano. He's getting a little class relief this afternoon, gets back to the distance. And look, this is a horse that's been in good form going back to September. So I expect him to show up again this afternoon for Claudio Gonzalez.
I expect so as well. You used the walk in your exacta too for Damon Lodovico, just, fresh off a layoff, and he's been absolutely solid. I mean, 4 back-to-back victories. They've taken their time with him. They're bringing him, back whenever he's ready for it. He's now a 7-year-old. I kind of like how they've campaigned him.
Look, when he went on the shelf, he'd won 4 in a row. He was in really, really good form, including an A other than. He beat some nice horses in that win streak. He beat Kingston Pike twice. He beat To the Front. He beat Great Go-Go, all next out winners. So he's going to have to repeat that race off the layoff. So that's going to be the question. But he's a trier. He always shows up. He's had 3 decent works since then for Damon Lodovico. So I just couldn't leave him off the ticket.
Yeah, no, I use him underneath as well. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with the other couple of races. Welcome back to Laurel Park. We're on race number 5. 9 races coming your way on this last day of the year. Mile 116 to turn the distance here. And Tim and I agree on our top selection. Look, we've kind of see this day quite similarly. Let's hope we're correct. The number 10, let's hope we're correct. The number 10, Percher for Anthony Pecoraro. He's been doing very well in his last 3 starts.
You asked me earlier in the show if there's a race that you needed to spread in your pick 4s, pick 5s. This is it. This race is wide open. The early morning favorite is our top pick, Percher. He's 4-1.
Yeah, that's how wide open it is.
Wide open race. Let's talk about Percher, though. Look, this is a horse that's taken the Laurel quite well. In his last 2 races, he had a win with a life best and backed that up in his last start at this beaten $5,000 level. He gets to come back here. He's a non-winners of 4. As he gets to come back in this race, still eligible. He likes the 2 turns. I expect him to be a little bit closer than he was going the 1-turn mile. He's had 4 work since for Anthony Pecoraro, who's having himself a nice year. So I'll go with Percher, 4-1. A lot of opportunities in the 5th today.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I use late breaking news underneath. I think he's 9-2. Second after a break. Looked like he possibly just needed the run. Perhaps he can return to some of his better efforts. He's also going to kind of sit that mid-pack trip and then come with a run.
Yeah, I didn't get the late breaking news coming off the claim. First time off the claim for Crystal Pickett. Took this one off Jamie Ness off of a little bit of a layoff. So I took a wait and see with this one here.
Yeah, I think he might have needed that race. I'm hoping I'm correct in that perspective. Both of us like Oxide as well. Oxide, sorry. Kieran McGee trains second in his last run. Just kind of sort of seems to be cycling back on the upward curve. On the go back, you see figures that absolutely work in here, but hasn't really been that same horse since. It was even, a winner of 2 other than conditions.
He has, but now he's going to stretch for the first time for McGee at this level. Sprinted in the last start, which was first time off the claim. Didn't run poorly. Run second, beats a length 3/4. Pretty good from sprint to route. Kieran McGee, about 22%. But you're right. You go back at the go back, and you don't have to go that far. We're talking about May, June, and July. You're going to see big races going short and long. If you can get back to any one of those 3 races in that period, it'll be good enough today.
Now let's talk about the number 8 ludicrous mode. Ludicrous mode, excuse me. We've put him as a video spotlight. Let's have a look because there is a lot going on
There's
here
a
down
lot
the
going
lane.
on here. And then look, ludicrous mode was far outrun early, 12, 13 lengths. Bug Boy's going left-handed. That doesn't work. The horse gets out a little bit. Oh, we oversteered a little bit back down to the inside. There's a fence there. Be careful of it. And then he finally levels off and starts trying to run a little bit. We get to go 2 turns this afternoon. We're getting Charlie Marquez. I think that helps. I think it helps. Last 2 races, this horse hasn't been that bad. That race there, the race before going mile 16th, he runs 3rd. He only gets 4 lengths. If he can come with some kind of run, it might be good enough this afternoon. But he's got his work cut out for him, especially if the racetrack isn't playing to his liking, which could be, at the end of the day, a bit of an issue.
Yeah, but I think you highlighting what happened down the lane was quite good because indeed steered back out, came close to the fence, and then I do believe Gino Vella just thought that they were on the first wire as well instead of the second. Briefly stopped riding, then rode out again. Perhaps that cost him 3rd placing, not as much of a difference, but I certainly think that ludicrous mode can do a touch better here if he makes sure to keep them straight. You have to give them a bit of guidance sometimes. So still thought it was a good effort. Nonetheless, I am worried, as you highlighted, about the track setup for him. But I use him underneath for that reasoning. Race number 6 is the start of the late pick 4. I decided to do a ticket today for this sequence. Let's have a look how I play it. I keep it fairly cheap. Now, I'm hoping that I'm just going to be very correct in here. But the thing is, you can also add horses to this. $9 flat. I use the number 3 and the 4 here in this maiden special weight for the ladies. 2-year-olds, I use Candylight and Quali, who are both going on the main track for the first time. But you know what? Candylight is a Grey Motion trained filly. She was a $200,000 OBS breezer. She can go on the dirt. She's gone fast over it. I think that's going to help her as well. Plus, Candy rides are actually touch better dirt sprinters than they are on the turf. So I think those 2 hopefully have me covered here. And of course, you have a firster in here as well. Perhaps if you want to add the number 10 Ocean Time in here, or the number 2 Determined Empire for Phil Schoenthal to cover your tracks, completely understand it. Race 7, I go 3 deep using the 1, the 3, and the 7 here in that 2 other than. I think I have that one covered. Now, my single comes in race 8. This is my best bet of the day, the number 6, Big Venezuela. He's been holding his own at this level, returns to the mile in 16. I think that suits his interest better. And on paper, he is the main speed, which has been carrying fine throughout the last day or so that we have seen. So I'm singling on him. My day is kind of on his shoulders, so to speak. 2, 9, and 14 in race number 9. It's the final race of the day and of the year. And $9, like I said, add a couple of horses if you have a couple of interest in here. This is a good sort of basic ticket to get you started. Let's talk about this maiden special weight here, Tim. You start by actually using the first that I didn't use in my late pick 4. But like I said, if anyone wants to add a firster, by all means. Determined Empire. Look, I kind of went against the first just because Empire Maker only about 9% winners with his 2-year-old firsters. Now, Dam did win on debut, and that was also going long, but that was on the turf. So kind of still trying to figure out where to place this 2-year-old.
Well, she was a graded stakes winner on the turf, the Dam, but this one appears to be ready to tell. I'm not a big fan of going long first time out, but this one it seems to be ready to take on a mile first time out for Phil Schoenthal. Comes in here with a good work tab, been working consistently since last August. A good 5/8 on the 5th of November, a good 3/4 mile on the 13th of November, 1:15 and change, and then comes back with a couple halves and a good solid 5/8 of a mile. So I'm going to give this one a shot this afternoon. It is my price play of the day, but you're right. The 3 Candy Light, who you have on top, this one looks tough. And when you look, we talked about this yesterday, By Candy Ride out of a Pioneer of the Nile mare. This one will handle an off track, no doubt about it. you can talk a little bit more about her, but I like her also.
I mean, of course, stretching out to the
Yep.
mile for the first time, but 2 races under her belt. Even and also looking up, Canny Wrights are just a touch better with his dirt runners. I said sprinters, excuse me, dirt runners in general. I think Canny Wright is just a bit sharper, like you said, bred to handle the conditions. Of course, trained by Graham Motion. I think they get a little bit better with a couple of races under their belt as well. So to me, everything sort of points toward Candylight in
Well,
here.
not only that, I mean, her 2 races she's run while sprinting on the turf, they were big races.
They were
she got
good.
beat ahead at first asking, and a good 4th place finish in maiden special weight going 3/4 of a mile on the grass at Aqueduct. So yeah, lots to like there, and probably at the end of the day, the filly to beat.
Yeah, I think so. So, I mean, I do use quality for Justin Nixon.
Yeah.
Blinkers go on. She has a half-sis Lucrezia, who's a grade 2 stakes placed filly. Multiple stakes winner sprinting herself, and one going long on the main track. So pedigree suggests that this could work for her.
Yeah, I think it can work for her. I think the addition of blinkers and the fact that she wasn't too far outrun sprinting on the grass, I think she's going to be a pace presence this afternoon,
so too.
and that could certainly work in her favor.
Yeah, I like quality a little bit in here.
Right.
And both quality and Candy, like good performances on the turf.
Yep, good performance on the turf, and this is another one by Quality Road of a Rahi mare who's going to appreciate the off-going.
And we saw yesterday that those predictions have been working out
Yes.
pretty decently. Race number 7, 2 over there. Optional claim of fillies mares 3-year-old and up. 6.5 furlongs the distance. And do a video spot. We'll go to that straight away. On the number 2, Pretty Laurie. Number 3, excuse me, Pretty Laurie for Hamilton Smith. Look, this was her last race on November the 21st right here. She was part of the pacemaking duo and did not shy away from a challenge. And then she kicked on.
She switches her lead. Dennis Arroyo gets her to switch her lead, and then she says, "See ya, I've had enough of you, American Bestest, and I'm out of here." This was a good-looking effort. A big lifetime number in that race, 77 by her speed figure. That was going 5.5 furlongs. She goes 6.5 today. How easy can she get to the lead today? Well, I'm looking at this race thinking maybe Foggy Dreams. No, that one's going long. Nobody. Who's going to try to run with her, and should they try? So Pretty Laurie could get off to an easy lead today. Maybe Alto Velocita toward the outside, the 4 for Andy Simoff. That one's shown some speed before, but she's down toward the fence, and I would expect she comes out or running and tries to take them all the way.
Yeah, I think so as well. But let's talk about her top selection. Juror number 4. She's jumping from the rail for trainer Brittany Russell. Look, I actually thought that safely kept race was a solid try from her behind really tough foes. I mean, regally bred Belle of the North, and then next out Allowance, her follower in charge, who just kind of put, I think, nearly half a furlong or more between herself and the Allowance group. So these were tough fillies she was running against. That was over 7, now going 6.5. I think there's nobody as tough as some of the company that she's kept in here. And if you look at some of her sort of more allowance level races, like 2 starts ago, she just kicks clear. So the class is there.
The class is there. And look, Fraudulent Charge, that was a big win coming out of that stake because she, as you mentioned, she just absolutely galloped that day. And Juror number 4 could do the same thing. I have her on top. My concern is clearly Pretty Laurie. If Pretty Laurie gets loose, Juror number 4 may not be able to catch her. But she's getting class relief. Pretty Laurie's stepping up, and that could, at the end of the day, be the difference.
Yeah, I think so as well. And then both of us used the number 4. You always mentioned Alta Velocita, she's been very effective at Monmouth throughout the meet, and she's been continuing to put in good performance comes here, just off a touch of a freshener, but I'm not too worried about that.
5 wins from 7 starts since joining my friend Andy Simoff's barn. Nothing wrong with that. Going to be taking on Laurel for the first time this afternoon. But you can't knock a filly or a mare who's in this kind of form. A lot of times they just bring their races, and she's been doing that lately.
She has. Race number 8 is the start of the Stronach 5. Now, Tim, how are we going to get part of that big pool today?
Know, but this is my idea. Here we go. Leg A, 2, 4, and 6. That's our race 8 here at Laurel Park. Leg B at Gulfstream Park, I go 4 deep there. I use the 2, the 4, the 5, and the 7. The 2 introduced filly, a mare that we're pretty familiar with of Georgie Duarte's. Race 3 back here at Laurel. Here comes my single. That is on the 9. Marvelous for John Salzman Jr. Take out, who do we take? We take out a bunch of horses in that race.
A lot
of horses,
yeah.
The scratches. That's my single. In leg D, I go 3 deep. there at Santa Anita. I use the 2, the 3, and the 6. The 3 all dialed in. 7 to 2 on the morning line, pretty interesting coming out of Los Alamitos. And then the leg E, which is Golden Gate Race 3, 2, 5, and 7. I'm going the other way on my friend Jonathan Wong. He's got a horse who's 6 to 1 in that race on the line. Doesn't quite look like he can win the race, but close enough. Every time I use Jonathan with a favorite, I get burned. I'm not going to get burned with a horse that's 6 to 1. There you have it, $108 ticket for the Stronach 5.
I like it, especially your singles, also my top selection. Let's talk about race number 8, first level allowance, mile and 16. My best bet of the day in the number 7, Big Venezuela. Speed of the speed on paper, cuts back to a mile and 16, has been holding his own at this level, and has also come across a couple of really tough horses that keep on winning after he runs into them. So I think Big Venezuela is going to get the win today.
I agree with you. I like Big Venezuela today, but look at Plowman, Commandeer, Ben and Joe, Boss Logic twice. And we know how good Boss Logic is. There's not any of those horses in this race this afternoon. I agree. I think it's Big Venezuela's race to win.
Yeah, and I hope he's going to justify my single on him, because I know that you went 3 deep in this race for the Stronach 5. You used Ratify. I have him in my exacta as well.
Oh, you have to. It's a Brittany Russell horse. I mean, returning off this break, she's about 34%. This is a horse that's won 3 of his last 4. Now, look, big number at Delaware. We've seen those big numbers before that don't quite match up when they come here to Laurel. But this horse has been working here, has run some good races here. So hopefully Ratify. If Big Venezuela can't do it, I'll be covered in my Stronach 5.
So I hope not, but I'm going against it. Well, I have him in my exacta. Okay. I'm not completely going against it, but it's a long layoff, 6.5 months. We know Brittany Russell's just fine with those kind of layoffs, but I'm hoping that Big Venezuela is just a touch sharper here.
Yeah, and don't throw out the 4, Our Lucky Man, who you have. I have my exacta. I mean, this one's come around in his last 2 starts for Claudio Gonzalez. Now he's stepping up today, ran a lifetime best in his last race, but he's going the right direction for sure.
He certainly has been. And then race number 9, our final race for fillies and mares 3-year-old and up, claiming 10,000 to 8,000 conditioned as well. 6 furlongs at distance. Well, the number 9 was my price pay, but with all the scratches, I'm not sure what kind of value I'm going to get on Mavilis. But John Salzman Jr. surely has this 3-year-old going very, very well. And I think the sharp cut back to sprinting is fine. If you look back at the form, me, Cleopatra, and I came back to win a starter allowance next time out. And then in that same race, it was a good form race, actually. The 7th placed finisher, Rapidash Queen, returned to win as well. And what I liked at Mavilis, she was well in hand on that pace. It looked like she even had a bit more speed, and she's kind of reined back in by JD. So I think she's going to be able to run with them.
I think she's going to be able to run with them. She's going to not be that far outrun, because she's shown speed going along. She's coming off 2 big efforts. Or Johnny Salzman Jr., he was good when he takes one from route to sprint, about 23%, and he's having himself a nice strong year, 27%, so a very, very good 2020 for John Salzman Jr.
Absolutely. Talk to me about Devilish Affair. She's jumping from the rail, had a small freshener, dropping back down. She's been running around at the optional claim and starts allowance companies. She's done pretty well there as well, but just in her last couple, perhaps not enough result for them to justify keeping her at that level.
Look, Devil's Affair stock went up when the 11 Fudge Cake and the 12 Danny Deep Cup scratched. Then she got the automatic move up on my picks. But returns after a little bit of a short break. The blinkers come off. Now, 3 starts ago, when adding blinkers for the first time, this filly won by a neck at this 16,002 lifetime level. She drops down to the 10,000 this afternoon. It could be enough. Now, she ran okay in that last start. Interesting move, blinkers coming off. She'd run pretty well before the blinkers had went on, but won with them. A couple dull races, but we get a little class relief, and she'll hang around for a piece of it.
Yeah, I like the blinkers coming off as well. I think that will freshen her up, and that will do it for us for these 9 races. Let's move on to lightning round. We've said it before and I'll say it again. Mandatory payout today, including payouts in that Rainbow Pick 6. We also have that 20-cent maximum wager removed, payout in the Super High 5, and of course also in the Late Pick 5. So make sure to get on board for a nice little payout perhaps on the last day of 2021. Let's talk about the standings. We are wrapping up the meet here at Laurel Park. Let's start with the Jockey Championships here. Of course, we have Javier Toledo doing incredibly well, as he's been leading throughout. And look, it's kind of a done deal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a done deal. Georgie Ruiz made it a little interesting for a couple days last week, but then Javian just stepped away. But look, the top three riders, within 12 wins of each other at the end of the day, and the leaderboard is just a good group of riders. There's a good group of riders here at Laurel Park. I've said it before. If you're looking for a rider, you can go 10, 12 deep here and find a rider, maybe even more, find a rider that you can be happy with. If you can't, you just can't be happy, because they're here and they're in the room.
Absolutely. And Javian is also poised to secure the state championship, leading Charlie Marquez there. So hopefully he'll wrap that up today as well. And look, he's been winning stakes left, right, and center. Most recently, the Maryland Million Distaff at Hello Beautiful, the Howard and Sandra Memorial State, Howard and Sandra Bennett Memorial State, where she told me to go. The list goes on and on. Javian has really had quite a banner year. Let's talk about the trainer standings. Look, Claudio's had the firepower and he's delivered on it. Also banking on, well, it's already in the bag really, the meet standings as well as the state championship as well, which actually is a big difference there. I think he's over 109 or maybe even more wins in comparison to Dale Capuano, hanging around 60. So look, he's been very, very effective. He's been very, very effective.
The races for the place spot here on the trainer board, because both Capuano and Brittany Russell have runners in today, so that could change for the place spot. But Claudio's tough. He started off slow in the fall when there's a lot of grass racing, but then as grass started to dwindle down and then it disappeared, he comes on very, very strong. His dirt runners are always very, very tough, but he's going to take down another training title here in Maryland.
In Maryland, yeah, both Javian Toledo and Claudio Gonzalez set to get the double, really, the meet title and the state championship. So congratulations on this, quite terrific effort. It's not easy. They both got it done. I've already highlighted it. I'm going to say it again. Stronach 5 starting here in race number 8. And Tim already said there is an opportunity for a single now here in race number 9 in the Maryland Jockey Club. So try and find some value surrounding it. Of course, if you have another opinion, by all means, go for it, because the payouts are there. We started this morning, the show, by saying that this is the last day of 2021. We want to wish you all a happy new year from all of us here at the Maryland Jockey Club. Looking forward to another stellar year in 2022.
Happy new year. Absolutely. It's been an interesting year. Racing's been good. We can already start looking forward to Preakness. That's not that far away. I know it sounds strange to say, but not that far away. Get involved in all the races today. Early pick 5, early pick 4. Early pick 5 yesterday, they bet $76,000 into the pool. So hopefully we get that kind of action again. There's already almost $10,000 in the pool for the early pick 5. But yes, Happy New Year to everybody. Say Happy New Year in Dutch there.
Gelukkig nieuwjaar, iedereen. It means Happy New Year. And we also say fijne jaarwisseling, which means a happy change of the year. So that means for tonight. We hope you have a wonderful time with family and friends as you celebrate and bring in 2022. And of course, thank you so much to everyone, all the way bettors supporting our product here at the Maryland Jockey Club. Let's go out with a bang, shall we?
Good luck, folks.